Hello and welcome back to this course. In the previous session, we have discussed about the multi-dimensional arrays. Okay, so here we are going to implement some example codes to just demonstrate how this two-dimensional array works. Okay, so again, let's go to File, New, and create an empty file. Okay, just save the file within the same array folders that we have created. So you can just write here example3.c. Okay. So just click on save. You can add comments like demonstration of two-dimensional arrays. So start including the header file, that is stdio.h. Start the main function. Now let's define a two-dimensional array. So int stud42. Okay, so this is declaration of 2D array. Now let's define other variables like int I, j. For I equal to 0, I less than equal to 3, I plus plus. Start the curly brackets. Now here we can printf the message, enter the roll number and marks in a new line. Next things we need to store the value. So scanf within double quotes we have to add %d for adding the two elements. So we can write ampersand array stud with row I and column 0. Similarly, the next element will be ampersand stud with row again I and column 1 at the end semicolon. Now let's create another for loop to print the value. So I equal to 0, I less than equal to 3, I plus plus. We can use simply printf /n %d comma array element which is I as row and 0 as column. Next element which is stud having row I and column 1. Okay, at the end semicolon. So let's try to build the code and you will see the build finished with 0 errors and 0 warnings. Now let's run the code. Okay, so here you can see the message for entering the roll number and marks. So let's write the roll number and marks. Okay, so roll number 21, marks is 65, roll number 22, marks is 86, roll number 23, marks is 69, and roll number 24, marks is 85. Okay, so you can see the data has been printed as 2D matrix. So 21, 65, 22, 86, 23, 69, 24, 85. So in this way, the 2D array can be declared and accessed. Okay. Now these two-dimensional arrays can be really very useful to perform the calculation related to matrix. Okay. Like you can add two matrices, subtract them, find the product of two matrices, and even print the diagonal. Okay. You can try these examples on your own, and for now I am just showing you one example to print the diagonal of a two-dimensional array. Okay, so let's create another empty file and save this as example4.c and click on save. You can add comment displaying the diagonal elements of a two-dimensional array. Okay, so start with #include stdio.h. Start the main function. Let's define the variable int R, which stands for row, and it is equal to 3. Okay. Similarly, C, which stands for column, it is also equal to 3. Now define a matrix called mat having row equal to R and column equal to C. Int I, j. Now we can printf the message in a new line into the elements of array. We can create a for loop. So for I is equal to 0, I less than equal to 2, I plus plus. Okay, so this will count the number of rows, and within this we can create another for loop which is j equal to 0, j less than equal to 2, j plus plus. Now within this loop you can printf the message like enter matrix element, and finally we can scanf the value by within double quote %d and storing the value in matrix array with row I and column j. So from here we have stored the values from the user. Now we have to print the diagonal. Okay. Now in order to print the diagonal of this matrix, we have to print the elements where I and j, that is row and column values are equal. What you can do is you can copy this segment of code and paste here again. So within the body of second for loop, we have to compare, like if I is equal to j, then we have to printf %d with /t, that is for tab, comma mat I j. If it is not equal, like if I is not equal to j, we have to printf the space, or you can say the tab space. Okay, and after the execution of second loop, just we have to print /n and say this is for new line, this is for diagonal element. You can just simply remove this line. Okay, so we are done with the code. Now let's try to build this code. Okay, so you will see the build finished with 0 errors and 0 warnings. So now let's run this code. Here the message is displayed, that is enter the matrix element. Let's say I'm entering 15, next is 26, next is 21, 47, 12, 32, 36, 48, 41. You can see out of these elements only the diagonal element has been represented. Okay, so if you see the complete matrix, that is 15, then 26, then 21, then 47, then 12, then 32, 36, 48, 41. So out of these values only 15, 12 and 41 has been printed. So you can see how we can print the diagonal element. Okay, similarly you can perform other operation on matrix like transpose of matrix, addition, subtraction, finding the product of two matrices. So you can try this example on your own, and if you find any difficulties, feel free to reach us. Okay, so that's all for this session. See you in the next one.